Alright, we're back. California life. That's probably the second one in like 2 days, 3 days. But alright, we'll get back to this. We have the PCV out. There's a little crud in the box, but we're replacing that. No worries. It doesn't seem like that hole is clogged. Oh, I'm hoping that hole's not clogged, because if it is, I'm going to have to drop the pan. I'm not looking forward to that. This is not that dirty, so yeah. Oh, one more thing. When I was taking out the intake manifold, this hose right here is compressed in on itself. It's completely smashed, so that's gonna have to get changed out. And this is the new kit we will be putting in. Pretty much like the factory one, but a little different. So this bottom piece comes with this fitting, and there's a aluminum cage around it, which I'm pretty sure if you put a hose clamp around here, it's not gonna work. So, I mean, it fits in this way. It fits in here, but I am not 100% sure if it goes in this way. If it goes in this way, or if it goes in this way. Let's check the car. Yeah, so it seems like I can press it in this way, but I think the bushing right here might bind this surface, and it looks like it'll go in flush. This way, actually. Oops. I am not sure, man. Nope. Let's put this in the car first. Oh, it's in. Man, I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not even sure if it had instructions. Let's do a little research. Alright, so after watching the instruction video, I have that the right way. You see this hole right here? Let me see if I can get some light. There it is. This hole right here. The O-ring is still stuck to it. Alright. That is where the banjo bolt goes for this guy right here. So this part goes into the intake tube that goes into your turbo. This tucks back under on the cylinder head, and there's a banjo bolt. That thing is difficult to get to. The new PCV box and hose is in place. I'm gonna give you guys one tip. When you put this hose on, before you do anything, the first thing you should do is line up that banjo bolt that goes right there. Yeah, you'd want to get that banjo bolt in, get it in hand tight. Don't tighten the bolt all the way, but just get it in there to where it's in place and you still have a little bit of movement. Because if you get this hose in first and try to get that banjo bolt in afterwards, you're not going to have enough room to move this around in order to actually line up the banjo bolt flat to the head. Because if the banjo bolt's not flat to the head and you try to put it in crooked, it's not going to go in. So you're going to need all that free play from the actual banjo fitting itself, so you can just line it up, give yourself enough room to slide the bolt in, and then put that in there. It'll save you a lot of time and struggling. This was the gasket that was on there. That was, the bolt was holding that on, so I just cut it and ripped it, pulled it off. And with the new gasket, what I did was cut a little slot where the bolt goes. So the gasket goes over it and lines up. I don't think it's gonna affect the performance of the gasket. It'll just save me some time from taking this off. Plus, I'm not sure if there's a gasket for this housing, so I really don't want to risk damaging that gasket because I don't have a spare one. So I think I'm gonna stick with this plan. So the intake manifold is on, not fully tightened, but it's bolted. The throttle body is in. The banjo bolt under the intake manifold is in. When I was putting it in, what I did was I put in the bolts first and then attempted to tighten the Banjo bolt. What I should have done was, as soon as I got the intake manifold in place without any of the bolts in, well, when you still have room to kind of move it around, that's when you would want to put in the Banjo bolt. You would want to throw that in first before you put any of these bolts in, because there is very little clearance between that Banjo bolt and the alternator. There's barely any clearance to actually even get a wrench in there to tighten it up, so you'd want as much room as you can get to tighten that down first, and then proceed with these bolts. And don't forget to put in the gasket before all of that stuff.